Hey there, it's Mark.
And I am Evan.
And on this week's episode of the Something to Prove podcast, we talk... What's that?
So fake. I tried to be as fake as I could on that one.
You want to do it again?
No, I did it on purpose. Go, keep going. We talk about what?
What?
Go.
This is so long. On this week on the Something to Prove podcast, we talk about when is the right time to give up.
Yep.
Evan talks about what he would like to do if it was 200 years in the past.
Yeah.
And we answer your questions.
Yep. Stay tuned. Coming up. Believe.
Right now. I want to welcome everyone to the Something to Prove podcast with Mark Drager and Evan Carmichael. Episode number 20.
It's a big
We've
number.
made it. We've won. It's been 5 months. I was going to say 5 consecutive months, but yes.
Yeah.
Episode 20.
We haven't taken a week off, have we?
We have never taken a week off. We even fit it in when you broke your neck.
Yeah.
Back in
Right.
March 15th, I think, your wife's birthday.
So hilarious. I got a comment. on my videos like, dude, you didn't, I mean, I know you broke your neck, but you didn't really break your neck. I really broke my neck and I couldn't solve it with just like, oh my God. Now we're comparing like whose neck was broken.
More broken.
Unbelievable.
I
Anyway,
love that
it's
so much.
Amazing.
The goal of this podcast is to spend an hour hanging out with friends. One, every time you wiggle your hands at me, it's just like such pressure. But here's what I'm trying to say. The reason that we have this podcast is that most of us feel alone a lot of the times. But we're hanging out with friends. We're going to discuss the challenges we all face as business owners, as entrepreneurs, as people looking to launch businesses. And I was so close to saying it.
Did you say here's what I want to say and then you licked your lips and then you started talking?
I don't know.
I
I'm
feel like
really
you did.
dry right now.
Christina, if we have that, I want a slow motion replay of that. Here's what I want to say. Here's
what I want to say.
Into it. Okay, go.
There, does that give you enough footage, Christina?
No, don't do the fake one. Only if you did the original one.
But here's what I'm trying to say. Anyway, how you doing, Evan? Let's catch up.
Okay, I'm good.
So we're gonna have some catch-up time. We're gonna hit our topic of the week. We're gonna have our 3 fun questions, and then we'll spend the last 10 to 15 minutes answering your questions.
It really sounded like catch-up time.
Catch-up time?
Yeah.
We're gonna have some catch-up time. Catch-up time. Anyway, how you doing, buddy?
Good? Buddy.
Yeah? Buddy.
That's a new one.
Friend, pal.
Buddy.
How are things going? How's your week?
Good.
Yeah, that's it?
Yeah, I don't know. I like generic questions like that. Good, it's good.
Can I tell you about a weird dream I had last night? Or you don't want to hear it?
Faker, I already heard it. No. Next.
I'm not gonna tell this story about the dream. So right before we started recording, I said, Evan, I had the craziest dream last night. And then I told him this dream. And then Evan got all mad at me for telling it to him before the podcast because now he knows it. And how dare I say it a second time on the podcast?
Inauthentic. And I told you that before you even said the dream. I said, I don't want to hear it. Save it for the show. Like, I don't want to talk about it on the show. And now you talk about it on the show. Guys, authenticity matters, okay? No fake second takes. Jesus.
What if your first take isn't good? What if you mess up? What if you don't get to the fire? What if you don't have the heart? What if the words don't come out right? Why can't you do a second take then?
You can do second takes. I said no fake second takes. Like you licking the lips was a fake second take. And that's what most people end up posting. And then they wonder why nobody consumes their content, because it's fake.
Okay, there was a little bit. We went off tangent there already. I like that though.
Okay?
That's it?
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else we want to catch up on, or do we want to just hit the topic of the week?
Whatever, man. Your show. I'm the donkey.
I like that. You're either the donkey, you're the horse, you're the monkey, you're the puppet, or you're the husky who we have to say mush to.
Yeah. Have I said donkey before?
Yes, you have.
Oh, I have. Okay, I'm the donkey. Good.
Okay, this week's topic, I want to talk about when it's appropriate to give up.
Okay, when you don't love it. Okay.
That's it?
Yeah. If you love it, was there more to that, or?
Well, I was going to give some context.
All right, go.
But no, you're on a roll.
If you love it, if you love the thing, then you have to keep going, because if you quit, then you'll regret it your whole life. That you could have done a little bit more and you stopped, and you'll regret it your whole life. Mm-hmm. But if you don't love it, then stop. I think there's a lot of people who stay in the thing for too long. Like, you should quit on your business. You should quit on your relationships. You should quit on a lot of stuff. You need to cut people out of your life. You need to cut lots of stuff out of your life.
Wow, that's a hot take.
That's a hot take?
That's a hot take.
I feel like I've talked about this a lot.
Maybe. But to say it that declaratively, that, if you don't love it anymore, cut it out.
Yeah.
People, relationships, friendships.
Mm-hmm. We stick with things out of one, convenience, and two, fear. you don't need to be friends with your high school buddies anymore. Like maybe some of them great, but chances are you've moved on. And they actually you don't serve each other anymore. You should be off on different paths. That's normal, that's great, that's amazing. Go find new friends. You need new friends. Most people watching need new friends. Serious, that's why we're hanging out here, right? It's a friendly chat.
Yeah, we're hanging out with friends.
Yeah, people need new friends. So you need to quit on things that don't serve you. Does this serve me? Do I love it? Do the people you're hanging out with, does the business that you're in fill you up? If not, quit, move on to something else.
Okay, what about loyalty? What about dedication? What about things that you owe people?
You're being disloyal by keeping them with you because they should be off with other people doing other things. Keeping your business around because you're loyal to your XYZ employee, they're not happy there either. They should be off blossoming somewhere else. Sitting with you on this almost sinking ship doesn't serve anybody. You playing small and hating your life serves zero.
I've unleashed the Evan to the point, fire Evan kind of thing.
Okay, good. Yeah, move on. You love it, you stay in, you have to. Because you regret it if you quit when you love it. You don't love it, get out ASAP, immediately. There's no benefit to staying.
What if you don't love it the day of, but you know you got to do it?
You don't love it the day of, but you know you got to do it.
Big macro, you have to do it. On the micro, on the days, on those hard days and things like that,
see,
you
I
hate
flip
it.
it.
You hate it.
Oh.
I'm saying, what if we're facing that?
So macro, you need to love it. Macro, you need to love it.
You feel you need to do it.
No, there's no macro you need to do it. Macro, you need to love it. Micro, you need to do it. Yeah.
Explain.
Macro is your mission, is the big picture, is what you're trying to accomplish. That needs to be something you love. The micro is what you do on a daily basis. And there's tons of crap that you have to do as an entrepreneur on a daily basis that you may not want to do. But if it's consistently happening, then you need to eliminate, automate, delegate it away to something else. So lots of unexpected weird. Yesterday, we uploaded 200 videos to my YouTube channel.
It's the best.
I destroyed everybody's subscription feed. I lost 6,000 subscribers in one day because we made a mistake. So now I'm posting.
So you didn't, when you uploaded it, you just didn't schedule the times? And
They're not even supposed to be there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was for people who bought my book, Top 10 Rules of Success.
Yeah.
They get a daily video that shows the rules, 2 rules on a video, and then, you meditate to it.
I saw that. I saw that thing come through, and I was like, day 2 of 200. I'm like, where did it?
All over the place. It's like super. You leave it to YouTube to recommend what goes out. So here's day 45 with Tupac. It makes no sense.
Yeah.
Everybody's freaking out. So that becomes half of my day, going to the community tab, posting, responding to everybody until I got blocked from responding to people. That was my day. Do I love that? No, I hate that. But it has to be done. Now, if that was every single day, then I need a solution. I need a fix. Back to macro. But that's not every day. I mean, if every day I was screwing up like that, it'd be a big problem. We'd have to definitely fix it. But macro, I love what I'm doing. You have to love what you do macro. And then the micro, you fix all these little things that happen. You have to put out some fires. That's okay. But if it's the same fire coming up over and over and over again, you need to fix it. Make sense?
It makes sense.
Macro, you have to love it. Micro, you'll hate some stuff.
And that's okay.
Yeah, it's actually normal. It's expected. It means you're doing difficult things. It means you're trying new stuff.
How do we make giving up an act of courage and success and not an act of failure?
What's the reason to give up?
Well, you just said if you don't love it, you give up. If it's not serving you, you give up.
Then that's an act of courage. Staying in something because you're afraid of hurting somebody's feelings or just out of convenience is weakness. Because it's hard to move away from somebody or move away from a business or just have a stamp of failure on your resume that this business, as long as you stay in it, it still could work, could. But when you shut it down, like stamp, failure, it's final. People don't want that on their history. Not even the public, just knowing, like, I failed at that. Yeah, that's courageous. It's courageous to say, I failed at that, I'm going to move on to something that I love. But you have to look at the reason. The act alone doesn't mean anything. What's the reason behind it?
You're in such a fiery, let's go.
I've been doing podcasts all day long.
Because you walked in like all antsy.
Antsy? I'm pumped. I'm excited. Let's do this. Something to prove. podcast, hanging out
I
with friends.
am so happy that 20 episodes in, you've learned the name of the podcast.
I feel like I learned it by 15. I haven't made a mistake in the past 5.
Right.
We'll go back.
We'll go back.
But yes, I didn't remember it in the first. Whatever.
Let's circle back around on the things that keep us from giving up then.
The things that keep you from giving up, okay?
Right. So you mentioned, like, I don't know if you mentioned this specifically, but I imagine there's, fear of judgment. There's the feeling of...
But something that you should give up on?
Yeah.
Something that you should give up on that you don't want to give up on?
Yes. The things that keep us from giving up on the things that we should give up on.
You'll find a logical way, a logical reason, because you're smart, to stay in it.
I think there's some quote like that. You're a smart person, so you'll always give yourself smart reasons to do the things that you do.
Great. I agree. And you'll tell yourself that it's something good, but it's actually all stemming from weakness because you're too afraid to walk away. So whatever the reason is. Loyalty, my customers depend on me, my team needs me, on and on and on and on. Meanwhile, if you are off doing something that you actually love, you could have a much bigger impact. It's out of the fear and out of the weakness to go off and do that other thing.
But is it that binary?
Yes.
Okay.
If you love it, you stay in it. If you don't, then you need to tweak it so that you do love it, or you leave.
What if this is your relationship with your parents? What if this is your relationship with your spouse? Or the person that you're engaged to, or your teenage kids, you're struggling to help them through hard times.
Do you love them? Do you love them?
I'm listening. I'm listening.
Well, it still comes down to the same thing. Do you love them, right? Do they give you energy? Do they make you come up? I think the person you're married to is rough. Like, that's hard. If you have somebody who you're married to who doesn't make you feel better about yourself, who doesn't support your dreams, it doesn't mean that they need to be your biggest cheerleader. It doesn't mean they say, yes, let's take out a giant mortgage on our house to fund your crazy business idea. That's what I'm talking about. But if you're actively walking in to some relationship where they are hating on what you're doing and your dreams, that's the wrong relationship to be in. Right? I have this, have we talked about this on the podcast? I have 4 phases in a relationship to find a good partner, from bad to great. Did we talk about this?
I think we spoke about it. I think we spoke about it back when you were on your tour.
Okay.
Maybe even after you broke your neck and we were talking about
Nina,
but
yeah. So quickly then, the first one is like they're actively against what you're trying to do. You can't do that. You suck. You're never going to. Who are you to do this? Blah 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 blah. That person cannot be around you, right? The next one is they're passive aggressive about it. They're trying to find. They say, okay, yeah, you go do it, but like they're secretly hoping that you don't make it. They're not really supporting you.
So that way later they can say like, see?
They might say see, but they just don't want you to do it. So they'll let you do it, but even that, like you feel bad about talking to them about this thing.
But the person, so before we move through these too quickly, the first group, the person over here, for all the audio people who can't see me waving my hand, you're in that relationship with someone who doesn't believe in you, who says you can't do it, who talks down to you and makes you feel little.
There's a lot of people. What are you talking
And
about?
we accept that?
No. What? I didn't say being that. You walk away. Get out of that relationship.
Okay.
But lots of people are in that relationship because they're afraid. I'm never going to find somebody else. I'm too old. And so you're going to, for the next 70 years of your life, be with this person. You think now suddenly they're going to start supporting you? Get out ASAP.
Yeah. I wouldn't accept that.
Yeah, but lots of people do, man. Lots of people.
Okay.
That's most people, I think. Most people, they settle way too early. And for everything, for relationships, for careers, everything. You just settle. Because it's okay. Because it's good enough. Because it's not terrible. So let's stay in this crappy thing.
Right.
Great.
Other people have it worse. I have nothing to complain about. So
No, people don't say that.
I think people say that.
No, not much.
I think people go like, well,
No. People don't default to other people have it worse.
I do that all the time.
No, well, you're weird.
I do.
That's not
Maybe
most
I'm
people.
weird, but we talked about our origin stories.
No,
and
most people
when I
are
talk
out
about,
of their own insecurities. They're not thinking about gratitude and other people
No, I don't
have
mean
it
it
worse.
that way. When
Other people have it worse means I should be okay with this thing.
Yes.
That's not
when
what-
I was
no, that's
growing
not-
up,
that's not how most people think.
I grew up in what I've realized now was an abusive household.
Mm-hmm.
But I was never beaten. I was
Emotional
never
abuse.
100%.
Okay.
Through
Which is worse.
through alcoholism and through rage and
Yes.
through anger and through all those things. But it took me sitting in front of someone who was in prison talking about being abused for the hair on the back of my neck to stand up and go like, how is it that I identify with this prisoner who's talking about being abused?
Yeah.
Why do I feel this uncomfortable fight or flight mode? And then I went, oh my goodness, maybe I was, like raised in an abusive home.
Mm-hmm.
But I still, for the last 15 years, 20 years, I've said, but I wasn't beaten. I wasn't, like, other people had it worse. Like, at least I had a home. Like it still makes me uncomfortable to suggest that I was raised in an abusive environment, because it wasn't abuse the way that other people think
That's
about
not
abuse.
why most people stay in bad relationships.
Well, but I'm saying that's
you're
why people say like, well, like I'm with this person, but at least, at least they don't beat me. At least there's someone there for me.
Under that is fear that you're not going to find somebody better. Period. At least they don't beat me is a cover story for you're afraid you're not going to find somebody better.
So that's group one.
Yeah, run away.
Group two.
Yeah.
Group two, this person who's not they're not going to come out overtly and say, ha, see, you failed, but they're secretly hoping that it doesn't go well. That must be out of a vulnerability or insecurity. They must be worried that if you're succeeding, I'm failing, or if you're going off and doing this, you're going to leave me behind, or, well, what if you change, or what if you grow, or what if these...
It's every negative action is based from insecurity. It's the same thing for the first group. Why did you get emotionally abused? Insecurity. Not on you, on him. Every negative action is based on insecurity. If you believe, like I believe, that humans are built to serve, and there's new research that came out that the impact of serving on your brain is the same as food and sex. It's just like it's hardwired into you that you're built to serve. Put it in my book. It's in there. I'm very excited.
Amazing.
Yeah. You're built to serve. So if that is hardwired into us that we're built to serve, for somebody to do that, to be emotionally abusive to somebody over a period of years, how bad does their life have to be? Like it's out of massive insecurities. Every negative action is based out of insecurity.
So that's number two.
Yeah, and then you get.
And what do you do with those people? You don't even recognize it.
I think for that it really depends on how deep it goes. But if it's an isolated thing and everything else is great, then maybe. But I still probably want to walk away.
Wow.
Yeah, because there's somebody better. You have to believe there's somebody better. Same thing for business. Like if you're just kind of getting by and it's okay, it's not the first category. No, man, you're a genius. Genius.
So
genius.
I don't know if this is touchy.
Genius.
I don't know if this is a touchy subject or not. But you're with Nina.
Yeah.
Your second marriage. Are there lessons that you've learned between the differences between? I've only ever been in one relationship, but are there differences between where you were years ago in your mindset and now, or am I hedging a question because it's really inappropriate to talk about?
So the thing that I realized with Nina, and listen, I don't throw people under the bus that I know who didn't sign up for things. The thing that I love most about Nina is her willingness to say yes, to try things, to come along for the ride, to do a 90-day tour, 23 cities, to support me through everything crazy, to have a partner in arms on doing everything that I'm doing. Mm-hmm. I don't need somebody to mentor and guide. Like I'm not with Nina so that I can help her out and boost her motivation. I mean, that ends up happening, but it's not why I'm with her. I get that enough from doing what I do. Mm-hmm. So that was something that I realized in all my relationships before, that I'm pretty independent. I like doing my own thing. I don't need, like, if I want to do a podcast, Mark said, no, I'm going to do a podcast. Like, screw Mark, right? Let's go. It's just going to happen.
Ouch.
Right? It's better.
I can't imagine you doing this without me.
Not this. It would be different.
No, I know.
But that's the mindset. I want to do something that's going to happen. I'm going to do it. I love having people along the ride to help me and everything. But if not, then I'll just go do it myself. And so every event that I've gone to has been mostly myself in all my relationships. Like I'm going to go to this thing, and then Nina sort of say, hey, can I come? I'm like, oh yeah, come. It's great. I didn't realize how awesome it was. Right? So it's great.
And that's maybe the third bucket of type of person in your life?
So third bucket is now somebody who is supporting you, who may not be able to help you with everything, but supports you. And like, you go do your thing, but I'll support you. Like, Mark, you go do your podcast. Evan, you do your podcast. Great. I'm cheering you on, but I'll, your time, my time, awesome. They want you to succeed in the thing. They want you to have your time to go do your thing, but it's your thing. And then the last one is a cheerleader, where they want to help. They may not be able to be involved. They may not be able to, if you're doing a podcast, be a guest on the show. But they want to come. They want to help. They want to support. And it may not be that black and white that they fall into the same bucket for every single thing. But net, you look at your dreams, look at what you want to accomplish. Even employees on your team, you look at the people on your team, what you want to accomplish. How do they fall into these buckets? If you want to introduce, everybody's got to read this book into your office, or everybody's going to come work out at 12 o'clock, or everybody's going to, are they, hey, this is great, or, oh, Jesus, Mark, what a dummy, I hate that guy, right? And if it's one-off, it doesn't, because maybe they just are super anti-reading, and then they're forced to do it, so they don't like it. But net, everything else, they're great at, right? They have one personal, so that you can navigate around. But I think your success in any relationship is your ability to navigate and change and evolve together, because you are not a static creature. You're going to change and evolve. Your ideas, what you want to do, your interests, your values will stay the same, but what you do will change. And so you want the person or the team or the relationship who will change with you, who are at least open. So if you're changing and the other person's static, it becomes this huge chasm. Or if they're changing in the other way, you've got this even bigger chasm. And so it's just, as you weave, you support each other and hopefully continue to find and grow and evolve together. Yeah, for your team and for any relationship.
If the idea is that it's okay to give up because it's not giving up, it's being courageous.
It's great. It's not okay. It's amazing. It's the best thing ever.
Then why does it feel so bad?
Why
does it feel so bad? It feels like you're failing. It feels like you didn't have it. Like you didn't have what it takes to do what you thought you could do.
Because you're tying your self-worth to the wrong thing, like most people. What did you drop? Is that a pen?
The pen lid.
It's amazing.
It's the best.
You're tying your self-worth to the wrong thing.
So if it's like, hey, I don't love it anymore, it's not serving me anymore. How do you know? Do you stop and sit down and assess?
No, you feel it.
How do you recognize it?
You feel it. How do you know if you love somebody? You feel it. Why do I love Mark? I feel it.
Thank you.
How do I know? Because he.
But you don't feel it all. Like so here's the thing. If we're talking about relationships specifically, I think people chase happiness, and you know what? So I'm Christian. Nowhere is happiness promised. Happiness is a byproduct of doing other things really, really well, of commitment, of love, of compassion, of communication, and spending time together, and all these things. Happiness is the byproduct. And so there are lots of times I've been with my wife for 19 years, we've been married for 14, where I'm sure she doesn't love me, and it's very hard to love her. But
that's not true.
But we're committed to one another. We're committed to the relationship. And so we'll go through a few weeks.
But you're just talking surface stuff. Underneath is love. No, the whole thing is built on a foundation of love.
Underneath is love. Commitment.
No.
Loyalty. Honor.
Then that sucks.
But these are windows. We're talking about
love is not a window. Love needs to be the foundation. Yeah.
Okay.
And then you go through bumps and bruises, and every relationship, awesome. But
there are times where you're in love, and you.
Yeah, but not in love of like, rose-colored glasses and everything,
dude,
right?
We've been together a long time. I understand
great,
the
but
difference
at the foundation
between that.
is love. At the foundation has to be love. Even if you feel like in the moment you don't love them for something, you still love them. At least you should.
or you're committed to them, and then you know that you'll be in love with them again later.
Commitment just for commitment's sake is a stupid reason.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for you, how do you take note? You tell the story all the time about catching yourself. You're walking down the street, rocking to some music, dancing along. Suddenly you're on the street corner, and you realize there's everyone there, and you stop. Okay. And it was only when you caught yourself that you realized, damn, I better start dancing again. So in this situation, when you're out of love with something, when you hate your life, when something is broken, when it's not working all the time, when you're not happy, how do you know that it's the right type of giving up, that you got to cut it out and not just the micro that you talked about?
How does it make you consistently feel?
Like bad, or
Great.
like garbage, or
Awesome.
that you're not good enough, or any of those things.
If you wake up every day and you go do the thing that makes you feel bad, garbage, and not good enough, maybe you should do something else.
But maybe it's not every day.
It's consistently.
Maybe it's like 3 times a month.
It's consistently. It's a feeling. It has to be a feeling. What do you feel?
You're a feeler. Some of us are thinkers.
No, you can't think your way through love. Do you love sushi? You feel it. Yes, it tastes great.
I think that I love sushi, yes.
You have to feel it. You can't wrap your head around it. You got to wrap your heart around it.
Ooh, that's an Instagram quote right there.
You haven't heard me say that?
I've never heard you say that
Actually,
before.
I was very proud of myself when I came up with it the first time.
Are you?
I was raging at I'm not raging. I was just in the flow on some interview and I said that. I think it's true. People say you need to wrap your head around it. No, you're going about it all wrong. You have to wrap your heart around it. You have to feel it. You have to feel it. And I'm practical and logical. I love it. But I don't even enjoy the messy. I don't enjoy the messy.
You hate the messy.
I hate the messy, but it is messy. It has to be messy. And so I go through the messy. But you have to feel it. You have to feel it.
So I was on a podcast last week, and someone asked me a question. The person asked me a question. I started talking about the recession in 2009. And I had this light bulb moment. I was so happy. But it was literally about giving up. Okay. So I started my business in 2006. And kind of grew very organically and very slowly. And so when the recession hit, and it's February of 2009, I had to let go of the only staff member I had. I burned through all of the cash we had on hand. I think we had like 90 grand or 100 grand in the bank account. I burned through all the cash. And so I call my mom up. It's like mid-February of 2009. And I call my mom up and I say, like, I've been doing this for 3 years now. We have like no money. We have no clients. We didn't do any work for 6 weeks straight with 0 clients. Everybody stopped doing work with us. I had no staff. I'm sitting alone in this this empty room I was subletting. So it was pretty depressing. And I said, I don't know why I'm working this hard for like nothing to show for it. And then my mom was like, so just stop. Just stop, whatever. You're young. So I started the company when I was 23 or 24, so I'm like 27 now. She's like, just go do something else. And I was like, but I think that I'm going to regret giving up. And so what I was saying to the person on the podcast, though, is I'm still on that run. So that time when I was like, you know what, I'm gonna give up, but I might regret it. So let me give it one last kick at this. Let me give it one last shot, just so that way I don't regret it. From 2009 to now, 10 years later, I feel like I'm still on that same run of that one last shot. And all of the things that we have now and all the things that we've done, I would have never anticipated being able to do. If just in that moment I didn't go like, I really should give it one last shot. That's the thing where it's like, I wasn't having fun. I didn't love it. I wasn't doing well. It wasn't an easy run after that, because after that I went out and borrowed money and then hired a salesperson and didn't pay myself for 6 months and had tons of up and downs. And there's tons of times where I go, why am I doing this? It doesn't make any sense. And so that's why I'm trying to figure out when you say, like, you know, it comes down to, is it serving you and do you love it? I didn't love it.
You're a terrible example.
I'm a bad example? Why?
Mm-hmm. Not bad. Terrible.
I love that reaction. Why? Why am I a bad example?
Because you've never enjoyed most of the work that you do at your company.
Yep.
Great. You have
this sick, perverse desire to do stuff that I hate and be miserable all the time?
No. I think actually that's pretty average and normal. I think most people just get stuck in things for whatever reason. Listen, you've done better than almost every entrepreneur, right? Like most businesses shut down. Here you are, $1 million plus business, team, still around in business X number of years later, right? Decade plus, here you are. You won because you're so gifted and talented that you could take something that you don't love doing and still squeeze some juice out of that dried, shriveled up lemon. Because you're just so good.
Okay.
Yeah. But if you
Thank
actually,
you, I guess.
but if you actually, but don't get it twisted. If you actually spent that time doing the thing that you love doing, you'd be way bigger now, way more successful, way more fulfilled, way more happy. You're a terrible example.
I'm a bad example.
Yeah, because now you're shifting the company finally, right? You brought on a COO. You're starting to offload all the stuff that you don't like to do stuff that you're great at. You're not there yet. I mean, you're still shifting. It's a process.
Sure.
You've built this entire machine of stuff that you hate doing.
Yep.
Great.
But my secret fear is that I will never be happy. That I will do all of this work to shift all of these things just to find myself also there going, oh, I still don't like this.
That's human nature.
But
But
come on, that was a good story about being in 2009 and not giving up because of regret.
Depends on what the regret is. Like if it's the regret that I might have a stain on my resume that I failed, then that's a stupid reason.
No, the regret is that I would look back and go, the one time I tried to run a company, I couldn't, and I gave up.
Great. But it was still based off of something that you didn't like doing. And then you just kept building this machine of stuff that let's just perpetuate this stuff that I don't like doing. Let's just now have 10 people that I need to manage that I don't want to do. That's not the path. That's not how you won because you're a genius.
It's so funny.
But it's not what you should be doing.
I had a business coach. A few years ago, and I admitted to him that the only reason I was building this was so that way people could do the stuff that I hated doing. And he was like, "That's a weird reason to build a business."
That's not weird.
Okay.
Dumb. Weird is a compliment. I like weird. Weird's great. Yeah.
I like this. I'm a terrible example. Okay, cool.
Yeah, but listen, we hopped on a call the other day and we figured out the 3 things you love doing. Mark loves, let me see if I remember. I don't remember.
Remember how you feel, though.
I felt great after that call. Mark loves, 1, giving strategy and advice to people. He loves the top end of marketing strategy and advice. 2, mentoring people. So mentoring his team and mentoring other people around him. And then the 3rd one was blinking. Sales? Doing sales.
Yes.
Selling.
Because
Great.
It's basically just doing top-end strategy and helping people.
Great. So those 3 things. Mm-hmm. So that's all he should be doing, right? That should be 95% of the work that he's doing.
I had another epiphany the other day, off topic.
Okay, but if you focus on those 3 things and then built the team to do everything else, you would be crushing it.
Here's the thing that I don't know, I feel embarrassed that it's taken me 12 or 13 years to figure this out, that I got stuck on leading the team to deliver rather than making my job leading the company and building the company.
So heady, I don't even know what that means.
So I spend 70 or 80% of my days helping the team deliver to the client.
You're being the chief operating officer. That's not what you want to be.
When I should be focused on building the company. Mm-hmm. My job should be building the company, not delivering the work.
You should be a CEO and you're being a COO.
Possibly.
So now he just hired a COO to help.
In February.
To help focus on.
Where are we, Louis? Come on, Louis.
Well, listen, dude. First off, he took way too long to bring this guy on board. Way too long. Second off, he's taking a guy who's just doing video editing and turning him into the COO leader for the whole organization. So there's going to be a growth process.
And podcast listeners, next week, Evan and myself, and Alex and Louis will be in Dallas for Tony Robbins, and we will do a podcast recording. And
maybe together. Did you talk to Louis? We're doing it together?
I didn't give him an option. He's going to be there.
Oh, he's going to do it? Because to do it, we have to skip the firewalk.
We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out, for sure. But it's going to be Dallas time, so it's going to be like the middle of the night Eastern time. But we will be doing our podcast recording from Dallas fired up, having just spent a day at Tony Robbins. So that's going to be a lot of fun.
So if you spent all that time doing 90% CEO work and figuring out the rest and building a machine that actually support you instead of building a machine that you hate, you'd be taking over the world right now, dude.
I just don't like the idea of giving up on things. I do. I love the idea of just burning it all and just saying forget it all and walking away and saying no and starting from scratch because I like starting things. But at the same time,
For what? What's the reason, dude?
I don't know.
It's insecurity.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So kill it.
Anything else you want to circle around on this topic? When to give up? I feel like you gave a lot of, I was going to say juice. That's a weird thing to say. I feel like you've given a lot of content or fire there.
All right. Well, you pulled it out.
I don't think anyone on YouTube can accuse us of not going deep enough on this episode.
I'm just a donkey. I'm just.
That happens often.
Okay. Donkey.
So I want to switch gears and I want to hit some of our fun questions.
Oh, okay. Let's go.
Okay. So I've gone with some deeper questions here.
Got it. I like it.
One even has a follow-up.
Ooh.
Are you ready?
Yep.
Geez, this is weird that I brought this up actually after saying that I grew up in an abusive home. But scale 1 to 10, how strict were your parents growing up?
1 to 10, strict. 3.
3?
10 is the most strict.
The most strict?
Yeah. I think they cared a lot about very few things. So most
That's
things.
so much like you. Oh my goodness.
Most things like. Yeah, they encourage my creativity. I have 2 sisters. All 3 of us encourage our creativity, want us to do what we want, and as a result, all 3 of us went off to do crazy different things. But then some things they cared a lot about, and so those things would be a 10, and everything else would be like a 0. So it balances out to a 3.
So my follow-up was, what's the angriest they ever were? Because I assumed that they were going to be stricter. But what's the thing that you did that's not harmful? But what's the thing that you did where you remember you're like, oh my goodness, my parents freaked out at this?
I can't think of an example, but like a specific one. But the thing that comes to mind is my dad is so loyal to my mom that it's beyond reason. So anything that would happen that would be a fight between me and my mom, and it could be anything.
Between you and your mom?
Yeah, between me and my mom. If anything, if there, I don't know, did something that she didn't like or whatever, like it often be stupid stuff. The fact that somebody was like attacking my mom, my dad would not be happy with and would freak out.
I do that to my kids.
Yeah.
When my kids say something rude to my wife, I get really angry at them and say, hey, that's my wife.
Yeah.
Like, so, I don't care that that's your mom, that's my wife.
Yeah, even if like I was right, you know, little effort to try to understand the context. He just loves her so much that like seeing that became a visceral reaction. And so my dad, who's like the nicest human of all time, got very angry. Not like physically abusive, and not even emotionally abusive. Not ever saying you suck, or just being enraged that this situation was even happening. So that's how I can't remember them getting super upset. I'm sure. I just nothing besides that. Nothing comes to mind.
I grew up in a somewhat strict household and somewhat loose at the same time. My mom was fairly relaxed about things and easygoing, and my stepfather wasn't, as I referenced a little bit earlier. But I remember when I was a kid, I went over to a friend's house. I was maybe 5. And I remember this because it stuck with me. He had a pair of handcuffs, and I was like, oh, handcuffs. And I went click, and as I was going click around one of my wrists with the handcuffs, the metal handcuffs, he's going, we lost the keys to those.
Nice.
And so I have like a handcuff on my wrist, and we're trying to squeeze my wrist out. We're trying to do everything we can. We're young, right? We can't do anything. So we have to go to his father and say like, I have this handcuff stuff on my wrist. And he's just like, I don't know what to do. So they're trying to look for it and everything. Finally, I know that I have to go home. I have to go home with this handcuff on my wrist. So I walk in with my hand behind my back, and I'm like, hey, just so you know, like, I have this handcuff stuck to my wrist that won't come off, and my mom like freaked out. As it turned out, one of their relatives had to drive 45 minutes because their kids had the same pair of handcuffs with the same key, and so they drove all the way to our house. But I remember getting in trouble And now I don't trust handcuffs.
Right. And then you handcuff yourself to your business.
Ball and chain. Okay, second question. Go back 200 years.
200 years, okay.
What would be your profession or craft? Don't say king, don't say prince or duke. Okay, that's privilege.
Not even going there, dude.
Great.
No.
What would be 200 years?
200 years.
Go back.
I'm so bad with history. Okay, what year is it?
It's 1819.
And what's happening in 1819?
So let's say we're in Europe, but if you were in North America, it would be right after the War of 1812. Canada is technically part of the British Commonwealth and not a country yet. There's Upper and Lower Canada. The U.S. is post-War of 1812, so they reclaimed their independence. I don't know, just assume you're in Europe. Napoleon is doing a bunch of stuff around, taking over Europe and stuff. But, there's horses, there's no electricity. What would be it's still an agrarian culture, but there's some, I don't know, I'm not a history major.
But I don't know what's happening in 200. I would probably be, I don't know. If I'm thinking like, I mean, I probably want to do my own thing. Probably want to be some kind of entrepreneur. But it's hard.
Entrepreneurs didn't exist.
No. I mean, but the options are like, you have a bake shop or right? Yeah. They had them, no?
Yeah.
Did they not have bakeries?
They had.
Everybody was an entrepreneur. Dude, everybody
had a skill.
Everybody was pretty much an entrepreneur.
Yes, they had a skill.
Wait, do I know my knowledge now?
I should just go back. Sure, you know your knowledge now. Go back 200 years.
Then I would
You'd be hung.
I would
for pissing people off.
That would be my biggest vulnerability. I'd have to navigate the craziness because
of the culture.
Yeah. That would. I'm not very political and like schmoozy and stuff, and that's a very schmoozy political time. You have power.
Yeah.
Is this when Ben Franklin was around?
I don't know. Sure. No, Ben Franklin was later.
Was he later?
Yeah, because he had to do with the key, right, and electricity.
Okay.
I don't know, dude. Just 1800, 1812, whatever.
Yeah.
So you'd be.
Can
I tell you what I would be?
Okay.
I'd be a butcher.
No, that wouldn't be enough for me.
I would be a butcher because, one, you have access to meat and choice. It seems like a really cool craft that I could get into. And it's food related. Everyone likes the friendly butcher, right?
I would probably start the banking industry. If it hasn't already been created.
It was, but...
Was it? So I would probably create my own bank.
Yeah. Trading started before then, but it started with ships coming in and people actually selling.
Yeah, but did they have banks?
Yeah, there are banks that are...
I would be an angel investor, banker, and knowing what I know now.
But you'd have to be the merchant class. You'd have to be born into the merchant class to get that.
I figured it out, dude. Okay. Madam C.J. Walker was the first woman millionaire. She was a slave.
Okay.
Yeah, I would.
So you'd be a banker, and I'd be a butcher.
Yeah, but I would be like the E.P. Giannini banker, where I would fund the next Walt Disney. But since I know what I
know now,
before I go back, I'd research everything
terrible in history,
I'd go back and research everything.
You would just go, what was that thing? I know how I feel about it, but I don't remember. Who am I supposed to meet up with? Where am I? Boston?
The guy who says,
am I supposed to be in Boston? I don't know what's happening.
The guy who says the world is round. There's something to that thing. I'm going to invest in Galileo. I'm going to find those guys.
He's in Spain, I think, or something.
Whatever. Right? Well, where do I live? I live here. In Canada?
Sure, America.
I would go. I would go to England.
Okay.
Or I would go to Europe for sure.
The continent.
Yeah, that's where it's all. I don't want to be here and die of malaria or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's the single best piece of advice you ever received?
I'm Evan Carmichael. Do anything I believe I can.
I like that.
It's a good piece of advice.
I like that.
My parents.
Your parents did?
Mm-hmm.
I have to say, there's two for me, but one is you. A year and a half or 2 years ago,
okay,
you were I think the quote is you vomit genius.
Yeah, great. I agree with that.
I love that so much. I was like, really? Wow, even my garbage is genius. Awesome. My grandfather, who's been an entrepreneur since 1952 and built a really, really big business, he told me, and it was kind of in passing, but he said, if you're going to take a gamble on anything, take a gamble on sales and marketing.
So tactical.
Sure, but he's just if you're going to put something at risk, go ahead and risk what you're going to.
Mine's better.
For sales and marketing.
Mine's way better.
Fine. I said vomit. I said vomit, vomit. Yeah, anyway.
You got to think about the greatest advice, whether it's me or not, the greatest advice you've ever been given in your life can't be some tactic invest in sales and marketing. Jesus.
No, but it was the if you're going to take a risk.
Still, it's too tactical.
Too tactical?
Yeah.
You want me to pull different advice?
Yeah.
What's
Invest in sales and marketing is the greatest advice I've ever been given in my life. It's got to be about how to be a human. How to be a human.
How to be a human?
Not how to get into sales and marketing.
I
mean, with respect to your grandfather, it's great.
For relationships, I like this advice. So be the type of husband that your wife is happy to have home.
There you go. That's better advice.
And she should be the type of wife that the husband's happy to come home to, or vice versa, depending on whoever's home. But my wife's at home and I work, so.
I'm happier when Mark comes over. He's the kind of friend that makes me happy to go home.
Thanks, buddy.
Or to TDS.
Thanks,
Buddy,
buddy.
it's the second time with the buddy.
Oh, okay. Let's hit your questions. It's not forced.
No? All right. You know, I was thinking about you on the way down. I don't know if we, here's what I was thinking.
Okay.
What I love about Mark, we had this.
So uncomfortable.
Should I draw it out a little bit longer?
Sure.
So we were at Tony Robbins and I was eating junk on it was, I don't know if it's cheetah or it was even tracking, and I think you had something that wasn't good, but then you stopped. Where I just kept eating like all the crap, and what I loved about it is that you could shut it off. Like you could okay, well, doesn't mean the whole day has to go and be.
Yeah.
So I forget the whole story, but something around that.
Something like that.
Like the whole day doesn't have to be a write-off. Like you can still save the last part and eat a salad or just stop eating the Cheetos or I don't know what I was eating. There's a lot
my wife got mad at me once for that because we went out for brunch together, and she's like, and I think I had some cottage cheese or something, which at the time wasn't on my diet. And then she's like, well, if you're having cottage cheese, you might as well have potatoes and French fries, and we might as well go for. I was like, no, like it's okay. Like it's okay. Like yes, I did this, and I feel bad or guilty about it, but it doesn't mean that you have to ruin
Mark's great at getting back on track.
Am I?
Yeah, you're great. I mean, I really respected that about you when you did. Like, I don't. So I love my schedule and I stick to my schedule, but then I fall off my schedule every now and then. Mm-hmm. And like if I travel or whatever, then it's not as consistent, and so I fall off. But because I'm 92% consistent on my schedule, it ends up working out. But then I was thinking afterwards, like, I wonder if I just kind of cheating on my own schedule a little bit.
Of course you do. You like ruining Danny's shot because he told you to stand there.
There's a little piece of me.
There's a little piece of you.
No, because like, maybe I should work on that. Maybe I should work on like getting back on track when it falls off the rails and adopt that more into my life as a next test. But then I thought, you know what? I don't know if I just like
I think if
cheating on myself.
You know, I appreciate that. I never noticed that, but I think that that's a skill I've had to develop because I am so like, okay, so I built this business apparently the broken way, and I'm a terrible example or whatever. So I leverage that like worry or fear or the pendulum swinging one way, like I swing it so hard the other way. So, yeah, you know, you had a bad meal, whatever. You don't have to screw off the entire day. Let's save it. Let's get it back. Let's make it happen. Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, we didn't talk about that. Those were my thoughts when I talk about it. Questions, let's go. Mark is not a vegetarian. It's amazing.
That's a question?
Okay, no, that was a comment. When is your birthday? May 20, 1980.
You're giving your date of birth?
I don't know. That's what they said, no?
March 24th, 1983. And our social insurance numbers are...
I don't know. You're afraid of giving somebody your birthday?
I don't know.
I don't really care.
Yeah. Evan's old. I'm old but younger.
All right.
What are you?
I'm
an Aries. What are you?
Is that by the month or that by the year?
It's by the month. By the year, I'm the year of the pig.
I'm a monkey, and yep. I'm barely a Taurus. I'm like 20 minutes away from being a Gemini.
Oh, you're cusp.
May 21st is Gemini.
Right.
I was born at 11:40.
Oh wow!
So people,
I don't know
what
that means either.
people know that. People say, "Oh, that makes so much sense." They're like, okay.
Really? They say that to me too when I say I'm an Aries. They're like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah, I mean, that's awesome. Listen, I did an IG live today with a
hypnotherapist. Again?
Kind of. Yes, but that's not the psychic readings. She helps the police find missing bodies and stuff through psychic connections.
Okay.
Yeah, and she said, like, great, like, do me. What? Tell me what I need to do. She's like, first off, by May. I
really struggle with these types of things, but go on.
Well, listen, I'm open to this stuff. I've never had it work either, too. Like, I've never done this, but all the meditation, everything else, I believe that it works for the people. I'm open. Mm-hmm. So she tells me, shoot. Okay, I wrote it down, but by July 10th or 11th, I need to meditate a lot before then.
Okay.
Great
Advice. Great advice. Do you see my skepticism on my face?
Just open up, Mark. Jesus. This is another thing that doesn't serve you, that you just...
What, to be judgy?
Yeah. It's why you lose, but you still win because you're a genius.
Great. So I'm judgy and defensive.
Yeah.
And
if you were
a terrible example.
Yes. You just win because you're just so talented and you stay committed to something. But
commitment is important, yes.
Of course it is. It's not the foundation. Okay. Love. Mark, Jesus.
There's a question up on the screen. You want to get the
question? No, okay, listen. Now, and the other one, because I'm going to forget, so you can remind me. By July 17th, what day is today as we film this?
Today is July 4th.
July 4th.
Independence Day.
Happy US Day. Okay, by July 17th, oh shoot, what was it? There's going to be two people that I'm going to connect with that I already know, not new people, two people I'm already going to connect with. And one of them is going to offer me a big deal to work together on something. And I need to say yes to it.
Hey, Evan, I got a proposal for you.
So all my friends, time it for July 17th.
You want ownership in Fanta? It's a big deal.
July 17th.
I'm going to offer to sell
on
you
July
part of Fanta.
Then I got it. Then just don't do it July 17th because then I have to say yes.
Oh, it's on July 17th. I have to say yes.
It's going to happen July 17th.
Oh, dude, I can remember this.
And it's got to be somebody that I know. So like,
you know me.
So is it going to be? Oh, and I'm gonna go to an event before that. So I'm gonna go to an event.
Tony Robbins, we know that.
And then, well, I didn't tell her that.
Okay.
But I'm gonna go to an event before that. When is our event in Tony Robbins?
Next Wednesday, I'm flying down.
Is it over the 17th? No, we're back by then.
I return on the 16th. You return on the 14th, I think.
Okay, so I'm gonna go to an event.
Great.
And then two people that I know, one of them's gonna give me a deal.
Now that you're putting this out there, people can orchestrate it.
Maybe, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
But I'm open to it.
Awesome.
I'll meditate more, whatever.
Awesome.
Who cares?
So
Whatever. It's 20 minutes of meditating, dude.
Hey Siri,
what's
on the
problem?
17th, remind me to hit up Evan to put a deal together.
Jesus. See, there's nothing wrong with. Listen, it works for somebody. Great, let's try it.
Awesome.
Okay, question. Tushery? Hey, I have a social media app for pets owners and I need your guidance. Social media app for pet owners.
What's the challenge you're facing?
I need guidance. So this is marketing. Get it out there. You're the marketing man. Mark Drager is marketing, so what do you got?
I don't like it when you say that.
You're okay.
I don't know, but I don't know if she's having an issue with marketing.
Yes, okay, let's just assume. She wants to get the social media app for pets owners out. Guidance, how to help her.
Okay. So one, you should be doing content marketing. You should be owning all things related to the challenges that your app solves for the pet owners. And then you should be leveraging influencers.
Yeah.
People who are already connected within the pet ownership challenge industry. Because let me tell you, like I have a Rottweiler. Do you know how many videos I've watched to try and understand how to train Rottweilers? I'm looking for experts to help me. And so if your app helps with training or helps with feeding or helps with nutrition or helps with whatever, walking or whatever it is, there are so many people who care about their pets and are seeking answers. And so you need to connect very quickly with the influencers who provide those answers.
Instagram and YouTube influencers, that's what you need to go after. Okay, what is it? This just says, let's win.
Yes.
I like it.
You know what? Here's the thing. It's episode 20. We've already won.
Listen, we won by trying, okay? I want to work with Facebook. Oh, that's a follow-up to the pet. Okay, Facebook strategies.
Facebook strategies for advertising?
Sure.
Pets pull really, really hard. So again, I don't know the challenge that your pet app faces, but get images, get visuals of pets, work in the problems that your app helps with, and then do a really simple video advertising campaign.
Facebook is your best paid platform to do it, but don't go there yet. Don't spend money till you're making it. Start with Instagram and YouTube influencers.
Which you have to pay for at times.
At times, but see if they like it. Mm-hmm. I got an idea for Samsung. How can I approach them?
You have all the big business background.
You need to patent your idea. The idea alone is not enough. Don't go talk to them with your idea. I have a million ideas for Samsung. Samsung needs to have a Believe phone. That's for sure. Mm-hmm. The idea alone is not enough. You need a patent on it. And your best bet in is to work with a patent lawyer who has connections to Samsung and cut them in on the deal, because you're not going to be able to afford likely the patent.
And possibly be open to any device carrier. It's cool you like Samsung, it's cool you're brand aligned, or you have an idea specific for them, but there are a lot of people who have devices who might need your help.
You have to partner with the patent lawyer who also believes in your mission.
Believe.
Yeah. You guys are great.
Yes,
Why
thank
is the
you.
audience so low?
Why is the audience so low? Well, when you're dealing with a live audience, people are bouncing in and bouncing out. But of course, this podcast goes from live to, shout out to all of our Apple podcast listeners, or Spotify, or SoundCloud, or Stitcher, or Google Play, and Evan's YouTube channel as well. So when you take all of the different audiences and all the different ways you spin it out, the number actually adds up.
We need to get better.
That's true. You need to get better, you're right.
Yep, I need to get better. Thoughts on cryptocurrency?
I don't know anything about cryptocurrency at all.
It's the future, but it's hard to tell which one's going to win. So I have zero cryptocurrency. You have any cryptocurrency?
No.
Except Bitcoin as payment?
No.
It's the future, but you don't know if it's going to be Bitcoin or something else.
Of course, but like it's like we know AI is going to be the
Yeah,
future
but it's so
as
far
well,
away
but,
too.
but
Yeah,
what are we
it's so
doing?
far
We know
away.
VR and AR is going to be the future, but in what capacity?
Yeah.
There's
100%. How do you manage social media calendar?
So, do you want me to get tactical, or should I stick onto the emotional, philosophical side?
Do where your heart goes, Mark.
So, first of all, it depends. If you're trying to manage the calendar just to try and post and get things out, then you're looking for the most efficient ways to go about it, like saving steps, automating things if you can, and getting things out. But when I hear of a social media calendar, I think topics, I think editorial, I think the styles of the posts, or what we're doing, or what we're testing, or what we're seeing. And so I like to just sit down with a piece of paper with a few blocks and just start to scratch out what we might want to do, where we might want to do it, and paint the full picture of what this thing looks like at scale, and then start to parse down the things you can actually do today. So for example, when we launched my daily content, I was doing everything myself, and it took 24 hours per week to do. It was really hard to scale that and do that long term. And so now that I've hired someone full time to help me put stuff together, who's with me 40 hours per week, we block out what this thing looks like at scale, and then start to look at what we can actually deliver on a daily basis in terms of content, in terms of editorial decisions, in terms of the styles of what we're doing. So we know where we want to be, we know what we can actually do now, and then once we get to where we want to be, we'll then take it to the next level from there.
Pick the one platform that you're going to be on. Don't try to be everywhere, you're going to suck everywhere. Pick one platform. 2, figure out a way how you can make 3 pieces of content per week on that platform.
Per week? I thought you were going to say per day.
No, to start. 3 pieces of content per week on that platform.
Don't you want to start with 1 piece of content per day on the platform?
No.
No?
3 per week to start.
Okay.
Yeah, 3 per week to start, and then work on making it better, and then work on adding more content in.
But here's the thing. When we say 3 pieces of content, when you say 3 pieces of content per week, a content can be something that takes 5 minutes, and content can be something that takes 4 hours to work on. And so I always try to look at, like last week, we didn't release, or this week, sorry, we're not releasing 7 pieces of video content because one of them was taking too long. And I didn't want that one that's taking too long to hold up the entire week. So we pushed it off a week and we went down to 6 pieces. And so some things take more time, some things take less time, but every day I'm posting stuff still. What are you shaking your head for?
What you just said is not what you're doing. Every day I'm posting stuff, and we only do 6 days a week.
No, because I didn't do the video. The video took 4 hours. Instead, I posted a photo, and I spent 20 minutes writing a caption.
You still posted a photo.
Of course.
Yeah, but you didn't explain that.
Sorry.
Context. Mark.
Sorry.
Give context. Oh, we're out of time. Okay, Mark. Something to Put podcast. Thank you for watching.
We got 24 seconds. We got lots of time. Thank you so much for hanging out with us this week. We really appreciate it. As always, you can find us on all of the audio. And listen, if you want to listen in audio and not just on YouTube or on Instagram Live, you can actually get it 1 week ahead of schedule. Yeah, anyway, thanks so much. Take care.
Believe.
If you want to see the last episode of my podcast with Mark, it's fire. The link is right there next to me. I think you'll enjoy it. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there.